Mark for Billings, Montana. Good day. This is becoming very interesting but very delicate. Listen to this. This information out of Ukraine has to be vetted very carefully, has to be looked at very carefully. You don't want to destroy the relationship with Ukraine that exists or people that are there, but you do need to get the truth out.
Step further, we've come to learn that Attorney General Bill Barr, he confirmed that the Justice Department is currently assessing information about Ukraine, which was provided by Rudy Giuliani. Now, he has his own personal podcast where he's letting a little bit of information out each time. And he says he has the smoking gun. He has the information. Now, the Justice Department, they're letting us know that they have the obligation to have an open door to anybody who wishes to provide information to them. And Barr told reporters that they have to be very careful about the information they're receiving, but they have a system in place where they can tell which is real and which is not. Take a listen to Bill Barr.
Senator Graham, we have to be very careful with respect to any information coming from the Ukraine. There are a lot of agendas in the Ukraine. There are a lot of cross currents, and we can't take anything we receive from the Ukraine at face value. And for that reason, we had established an intake process in the field so that any information coming in about Ukraine could be carefully scrutinized by the department and its intelligence community partners so that we could assess its provenance and its credibility. And, that is true for all information.
Now, as you can see, he's letting everyone know that they're investigating this entire Ukraine scandal. And Rudy Giuliani is supplying the information. We'll be talking a little bit more about this a little bit later in this report. But first, Representative Devin Nunes, he's the ranking member of the House Intelligence Committee. He gave the Inspector General, Michael Atkinson, remember, he's the one who changed the whistleblower form. He's the one who brought the whistleblower forward. He's the one who doesn't want anyone to know who the whistleblower is. Schiff doesn't know who it is, but they all know who it is. Nunes says he has to hand over the information that will illuminate certain questions surrounding the timeline and procedural protocol used to vet the whistleblower's complaint that centered on Trump's July 25th phone call with Ukraine President Zelensky. So this individual has until Friday, and we'll have to see Nunes's next move if he doesn't get this information, because
Has until Friday to release this information or announce who it is. Not quite clear on that, but time is clicking away. And I believe the Republicans are going to start playing their hands very carefully, very methodically. And it's going to be big news when it does come out.
once he gets this information, it's kind of game over for Schiff and the rest, because we know that the form was changed way ahead of the phone call. And Trump's phone call was released. The transcript was made transparent to the American people, and that whole whistleblower complaint went down the tubes. Now
So I don't know. This whistleblower complaint is a smokescreen, in my opinion, covering up really what happened. And if his form was changed long before a phone call was released or Trump was charged, something else is going on behind the scenes that should not be, and it should be legally pursued.
we know that General Michael Flynn, he changed his plea. He's saying that he's not guilty now, which means those on the Mueller team in the Department of Justice, they have to prove that he's guilty. Now, they've been backtracking. They would have to produce evidence. They don't have it. And now Judge Emmett Sullivan, he canceled the sentencing date. He did not even say what the new sentencing date is. Now, I do believe that there's going to be a declassification of the FISA warrant that they had on General Flynn. And once that is produced, Flynn is going to go free. Now, I interviewed Dave Hayes, a.k.a. Praying Medic, on the Spotlight channel. He does believe that those who are responsible for Flynn, setting Flynn up, those are going to be the first arrests, which it's starting to look this way, but we'll have to see how this all plays out. Now, very interestingly, we also had Attorney General Bill Barr. He was letting everyone know that the Department of Justice has just indicted 4 members of the Chinese military for masterminding the 2017 Equifax data breach, which breached about 147 million U.S. consumers. So this wasn't Russia, it was China. And what's very interesting about all this is that Q has been letting us know that it's not Russia, it's China. That's where we should be looking. And if you notice, there's been a lot of arrests, those individuals selling treasonous information over to the Chinese. Of course, we have Hillary Clinton and her server. And we've seen a lot of individuals arrested. And now we have this. So it's all starting to fit together. The deep state, the central bankers, they are controlling China. Remember, China was slated to be the next hub of the financial system. Once, of course, they reduced the population, brought us to war, and everything else. That's what they were planning on. And if you noticed, during this whole period of time while Obama was in his presidency, China's technology was rapidly advancing, almost to the point where it equaled the U.S. Why was that, and how was that? It was because the secrets to our military, they were being sold to China. Now,
if this is true, Obama let a lot of secrets out to China, sold it to China, and made a lot of money on that. But it's treason at its highest form. And again, for this and other reasons, I still, for the life of me, cannot figure out why Obama is not called on a lot of these treasonous acts. He purposely sold those secrets, tried to destroy our military, weaken it. At the very least, all this is treasonous, to say the least.
down at the border, we know that Trump is building the wall. Of course, the mainstream media, they really don't want to report about this. They really don't want to talk about it. They talk about how people can scale the wall, how they can cut through it. But remember, in many places, there are double walls. There's the first wall, then there's a gap, and then there's a second wall. And there's drones, there's cameras, and everything else. So even if they scale the first wall or they cut through it, digging under it's kind of tough because there's concrete that goes pretty far down. But even if they try to dig a tunnel under it, they go into this zone area where they're picked up on camera, and it allows the patrols around that area to get there very, very quickly before they reach the second wall. Even if they reach the second wall, they still have to climb it, they still have to cut through it, and they can stop them. So it's not just one wall in many places. The high traffic area, there's double walls. So what has Trump done? The Trump administration is shifting its border wall focus from procuring resources to breaking ground on new construction after securing funds for 1,000 miles of new wall along the southern border. The fiscal year of 2021 budget requests fewer funds for the border wall construction than in previous years, but a senior White House official explained how the administration has now shifted from securing funds to being able to build more wall. What are they doing? They are cutting certain targeted agencies. The National Institute for Occupational Safety and Health Education and Research Centers, Department of the Interior's Highlands and Conservation Act grants, National Park Service's Save America's Treasures grants, National Endowment for the Arts, Endowment for the Humanities, Cooperation for International Community Services. They are being cut, and the funds are being redirected to the wall.
Wow, so they're cutting these other departments. And this is what a business manager does. This is what a business professional does. He pulls funds from some areas that aren't necessarily that important and moves them to other areas where they are. This is good business practice.
Now, very interestingly, out in Germany, it seems that Merkel, she is in trouble, just like Macron and all the other leaders. I think we're going to start to see many of these leaders leave and other leaders take their places. Now, some of these individuals have successors where they slated that this is going to be the next person, but I don't think that is panning out the way they thought it was going to. The people are waking up around the world. The people understand this. And Gret Kramp Karen.
So this is worldwide. It's happening in France, Germany, Italy, I believe in Spain, uh, Argentina, UK, uh, many, many places, Hong Kong, Taiwan. This is worldwide.
Bauer, better known as AKK, she was the successor to Merkel. She has now confirmed that the rumors are indeed true. She will step down as the leader of Angela Merkel's Christian Democratic Union. So it looks like Merkel's party is going to be in a little bit of trouble. And it seems that we're seeing change all around the globe. Let's get into some of Q's posts here. This is post 3850. Gives us a meme. It's in red. It has Trump's face on there, the Washington Monument. And in this meme, it says the following. Below the depths of the D.C. swamp, the hunt is on. In the invisible war for the future of our republic, the tables are now turned, and now the hunters become the hunted. Patriots in control. Enjoy the show.
Anyhow, let's go on. A lot of this hype is just that. We'll see how all this pans out, to say the least. I know he focuses on this, but I think unfortunately it's short-lived.
City mayor. Relationships are high. He knows a lot of people. He knows the police force. The police force like him. Most likely, Rudy Giuliani, and we're getting confirmation from Q, he has the insurance file, but kept it very quiet. Now, recently, what has happened? Well, out in New York City, we had an attempted assassination of 2 New York City police officers. Now, this is from the Justice Department. I like to express my outrage at the attempted assassination of 2 New York City police officers. I've recently been up there to visit with the NYPD News, and that is a force that does exceptional work for the people of New York, AG Barr. Now, who were they trying to get rid of? Why were they trying to assassinate them? Why were they targeted? Did they see Weiner's laptop? Did they hand the information off to Rudy Giuliani? Do they know what's on it? It could be because Rudy Giuliani, he has all the goods on Biden's and others in Ukraine. Rudy Giuliani has the insurance file from Weiner's laptop. And then we had the attempted...
From the laptop, Weiner's laptop. Interesting. How all this is playing out. We'll see.
Assassination of 2 New York City police officers. Very interesting. Let's move on to post 3851. This is from the Washington Examiner. Q gives us a link, and it says, bigger than Vindman. Trump scrubs 70 Obama holdovers from NSC. Let me read a small part of this. President
scrubs 70 holdovers from NSC. Wow.
Trump is making good on his promises to drain the swamp and cut Obama-era holdovers from his staffs, especially the critical and recently controversial National Security Council. Officials confirm that Trump has National Security Advisor Robert O'Brien have cut 70 positions inherited from Obama, who had fattened the staff to 200. Many were loners from other agencies and had been sent back.
That's great. Let's move on.
And Trump and the Patriots were able to listen in on these conversations, and they got the information they needed. Now they don't need these people anymore. They're being removed. And it was shown to the public who these people actually are. And think about it. During the House hearings, these individuals that were testifying, most of them never even heard the call. They were just making this stuff up. They were disgruntled employees, and they were doing whatever they possibly could to get rid of Trump.
It's just political crap. Let's move on here.
Those and the Patriots have the ability to see who these individuals are loyal to. And they played the game. Adler, where the heckler came out and said, "You lost," people are looking at Schiff saying, "You're a loser." Q says, "Imagine that, Q." So Q foreshadowed the White House cleaning and D's leadership being ridiculed in the streets. Post 3853 gives us a meme, and it's a bunch of children and one individual facing the other way on a bench looking at a picture of Q. And it looks like maybe it's a painting. And it says, "The greatest military intelligence operation of our time. Back channels are important. Attacks will only intensify. You attack those who threaten you the most. Enjoy the show." Well, why would they be attacking right now? Because something big is about to drop. They know that Barr has been getting information from Rudy Giuliani. They know that Rudy Giuliani has a lot of friends in New York, the higher ups. He has the insurance file. They know the D class is coming. They know that's going to lead to arrests. So the deep state players, they are panicking. Look what we've seen already. There was a short period of time where Twitter only allowed blue checks to tweet for a while. I believe this was a test. When everything drops, there might only be certain people that can use certain functions on these social media platforms. Do I think they'll completely go down? No, I think they're going to try to control the narrative with certain individuals. 8kun is being attacked constantly, and this is where Q posts. So that tells you that they're trying to shut that down so Q can't put out any information. Today on Twitter...
Now remember that AQ was attacked and shut down for a while. And now it's back up. And hopefully they've got security in place where they can't do that again and break it.
I showed everyone the attacks. I mean, I've never seen attacks like this before on my site. Now, this is far beyond anything I've ever seen. Today already, the attacks are up to 17,000. I've never seen this before. So this tells you something. This tells you something is going on. And the mainstream media, they're tweeting and putting out a huge amount of Q articles, letting everyone know that it's a conspiracy, that these are crazy nut jobs. Don't listen to them. Hive tweeted out the following: 100% spot on Julian's rum. With yours, I decided to show all the outlets who decided to drop a Q-related article. Also included is Patrick, who is spinning it and being selective when he writes one. And basically, they're showing all the different articles, all the tweets that have been coming out. And they are constantly coming out to try to convince the people that it's a conspiracy. Julian's Rum tweeted out the following: contemplate this. The New York Times tweeted out 8 times today about Q. I don't think I've ever seen them tweet a thread this long about any topic, much less a baseless conspiracy theory. Why would they
put all the effort into a baseless conspiracy theory? They wouldn't. This is total mind control, total propaganda, battling at its highest level.
Continually tweet out about a LARP? If it was a conspiracy theory and it wasn't true, they wouldn't care. Now, very interestingly, the New York Times, they tweeted out something very interesting, and they mentioned that the FBI warned that QAnon is a potential domestic terror threat. This is what they said. In its intelligence bulletin identifying QAnon as a potential domestic terror threat, the FBI warned that social media was serving as an incubator for groundless theories and inspiring followers to take action. Now, Dave Hayes, aka Praying Medic, decided to look into this. And thank God he did some research here. This is what Dave found. I received a reply from the FBI on my Freedom of Information Act request. They could not confirm the so-called FBI intelligence bulletin about conspiracy. They referred me to the Bureau's public bulletin on categorization of terror threats, which does not mention conspiracies as a threat. This is what he said in another tweet. The FBI recognizes 4 categories of violent extremism: racially motivated violent extremism, anti-government, anti-authority extremism, animal rights, environmental extremism, abortion extremism. They do not recognize conspiracy extremism. Then Dave points to the FBI site, and it says the FBI classifies domestic terrorism threats into 4 main categories: racially motivated, violent extremism, anti-government, authority extremism, animal rights, environmental, abortion. That's it. And he shows us on the FBI page that that's all they count. So what the New York Times is saying is they're trying to convince people that we're extremists. Don't look at the QAnon stuff. It's all fake. It's a conspiracy. Don't look at it. Why would they be pushing that so hard? Well, we might have our answer. It seems that Trump might have sent us a message. This is what he tweeted out today. 95% approval rating in the Republican Party. A record. 53% overall, plus add 9 points. Corrupt Democrat politicians have brought me to highest polling numbers ever with the impeachment hoax. Thank you, Nancy. Now, the part that we're looking at is the number 9. Why would he say plus add 9 points? Well, if we go back to post 3716, this is the first indictment to be unsealed will trigger mass population awakening. This is what it says. First indictment, brackets bold, unseal will trigger mass pop awakening. First arrest will verify action and confirm future direction. They will fight, but you are ready. Marker 9, which lets us know that it's coming. The deep state knows it. When exactly, we don't know. But this is letting us know that something big is about to hit. The mainstream media, the deep state, wouldn't push attacks. They wouldn't push the Q articles. They wouldn't push all of this unless something is about to happen. Listen, everyone, thanks a lot for listening. Be well, be safe.
All right, so we're gonna end it here. So something big, and I told you this for months. I said I believe some of the biggest things that are going to come out towards the end of summer, towards the beginning of fall, just before presidential elections in November. I believe that they're going to bring this stuff out 2 to 3 months just before, and it's going to be bombshells. And there's going to be more than one. And when they come out, they're going to be so hard hit, population and the mindset, so hard hit on this evidence, they're going to say, holy crap, we have been conned. This has been a political game of overpower, and there are people that need to be sentenced and tried, sentenced, and put away. It's going to be big when it happens, and I believe we better really watch in July, August, and September. Those 3 months, especially September. It gives us September, October, 2 months. And I believe that September, August, and September will be key months. We'll see. It's Roger Martin from Village, Montana. Good day.